Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to bring you, I think it's the third part in my altered book series for beginners. So I made this page spread off camera and this one. So I might do one of these today. I might do two. So we've got a pocket there, edge to edge pocket, bit of gesso. I've used gesso. Added some page there, and this one I created a triple pocket, and I've just added paper there. So I think I fancy getting a little bit inky and arty, so I might do this sort of spread again to show you. And I'm thinking, because I fancy, as I've been away for Easter, that I might just speed it up and do a bit of a voiceover or some music, because I just want to relax and craft and maybe catch up on a bit of YouTube videos, because I've not been able to watch them whilst I've been away. And so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna have my camera rolling, enjoy watching things whilst I'm creating, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And I'll say I'll do a little bit of a voiceover, but I think I'm going to do this double page spread. This paper that I've used is a retired one from Stampin' Up, and it's thinner paper. There we are. There, we've got it. It's thinner paper than normal, so it is called Pressed Petals Speciality Designer Series paper, and it is quite thin, so it's like paper. It's like copier paper. It's probably about 80 or 90 GSM, not really sure, but you know, it's much lighter than our normal paper, and I thought that would be really good for this altered book, because you've already got your book page with it. So and I love it. It's some beautiful designs, and this sheet here, which I've already cut a bit out, but obviously I don't know where that page is, but this page here has these sort of cutouts, so that's what I used on this pocket. So I used this one here as the pocket front, and then cut off the border there to sort of match it up that side, which is quite nice. And there's other designs that I can choose. So I base the size of the pocket around the size of that. I might use that one. I quite like that shape there. Oh, there's another square one there that I could maybe use on another page. I might dive a bit further into the book rather than have it running sort of consecutively afterwards. So I might do a couple of pages, miss a couple of pages, and then sort of do it there. All right, so yeah, I'm going to get on with that. So this is the sheet that I used before, and I'm going to use that lovely floral on a wood background there. So I'm going to rip it just using my metal ruler. As they're all straight edges, it's quite easy to see how to rip. So just lining it up against the edge of each of the cut parts, and there we have it. And I like the rough edge. There's a little bit of a white core showing, so I will ink round, and as you see, it's slightly bigger than the other pocket, but that doesn't matter. So I'm losing a couple of pages and deciding which side to go on, as that is a single page, because it's a pocket page. I'm going to put it on the other one so it's a little bit sort of sturdier for holding it, and that will be nice for a tag to go in. So I need to gesso this page. That's what I did on the other one. I'm using straight gesso. I'm not watering it down. Sometimes I do, but I think that sometimes warp the page, and as it's in a book, I don't mind something that I'm going to stick on being a bit warped, because the glue will flatten it, but this is an actual page, so I don't want it flattening. So I've got a little bit chipboard there to go under, to give me a firm surface for when I'm stamping and things. So I'm just going to clip it in place with a bulldog clip there. And I am using a silicone brush that's from like the hairdressing department of Amazon. I might have got it eBay, can't remember. But they're like hairdressing brushes. And so I'm just using that to apply it. So just slapping it on basically. Not not giving much thought about it. I did think as I was doing it, oh, maybe if I'd have decanted a bit and added a bit of re-inker to it, it might have been quite nice. But I'm going to put some ink on it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put that to dry whilst I make the pocket up. There's a little bit of sunshine on this bank holiday Monday, so that's where I'm going to put it. So I am going to take this and I'm just going to use some early espresso there to ink around the edges so it gets a nice dark edge around the tearing, and it's covering nicely the white core. And I really like that effect, which is why I ripped and didn't cut. So that being done, I'm then going to take one of the book pages that was ripped out. It's a good way of using up your book pages. Got a bit of gesso there on the nail. So I'm just going to stick it there in the middle. I'm going to use glue stick because I think I'm gonna sew. So I don't mind using a bit of glue stick. It's quite thin paper, and I'm putting like 2 coats over that to stick it down. And I'm sticking it down so I've got a margin all the way around, and that's the bit that's going to get sort of tucked under. So giving it a bit of a spread. I'm using my bone folder, but you can, there we go, use a credit card. That's actually a Skybox card, but you can use like a reward card or something, or an expired credit card for that. And then I'm just going to fold over the edges around where it's glued down to form the pocket. So just making sure I'm quite close to the edge. It's probably better to wait until the glue's dried properly before attempting this step, but I was filming and I've just got to do it quicker. So just taking a bone folder there to make sure that the edges are nice and sharp. Nice good crease is what we want. Just adjusting there because it was not as close to the edge as I wanted. So we're going to fold top and bottom down. The top bit folded down is going to be glued to the back of the pocket as opposed to the page, obviously. It's a bit big, so I'm just going to trim down there slightly. So now I'm going to cut the corners out so that they can be folded in and stuck down. The top edge also needs the corners cut out, and you'll see in a sec. Now I'm just going to glue the edge down, and it reinforces the edge of the pocket as well, gives it a little bit more strength, and so it won't rip or anything. So using a bit of glue stick, and then I'm going to take I think that's art glue glue I'm using there, just go around the edges to give it a little bit of extra stick. My glue pot was slightly bunged up. I've been away, so it had dried slightly, but it's flowing now. So yeah, so just spreading that out a bit with my silicone brush and giving it a good press down. So like I say, you end up with a nice firm edge. And I'm just going to sew around those edges. There we are. Did a little bit tiny before I went away, so I could get to my sewing machine. But if you haven't got a sewing machine, there is the Stitchery stamp set that Stampin' Up do sell, which is available in my shop. And as you can see, I used it on that page I was just showing you. So they do look quite realistic. So before I stick it down, that page needs a little bit of vintaging. So I'm going to take some soft suede and just ink up over that gesso so it looks a little bit more aged and less white. And once that's done, I'm going to get out my stencils. I used a bit of stenciling on the other sheet, and I want to do that this time. And I'm using a different stencil. So these are some, well, the masks that Stumping Up are selling at the moment, and this is a two-step masking. So I'm using a lighter colour here, soft suede, on these this part of the stencil, and then the other part of the stencil you go over with a darker colour to sort of bring out the highlights. You match it up. There's sort of 3 dots that you sort of match up, so that's why I'm securing it with a bit of washi tape there so it doesn't move, and then I'm going over with the espresso, and you can see you get that two-tone effect on the flower, and it sort of pops a bit better. And I just thought that would look nice with the floral on the front of the pocket. And then I'm just doing this sort of leaf pattern around the edges to add a little bit more of an effect on that page. And I quite like how that's looking around the pocket. I'm going to add some flowers there, just random, and just to fill the page really with a bit of prettiness. So that's that done, and then I'm going to do a bit of stamping. So that's Quiet Meadow. Love that stamp set. So we're going to put some that sort of like typescript around. It's a bit harder to stamp on a page when it's in the book, but it's doable. And there's just some age spots that I'm putting around it there, and I'll put some on the pocket as well. So I'm just inking around the bit of the book page that you can see, and adding a little bit of ink and dottage, a little bit of script, so that the pocket looks a little bit older and it's in keeping with what I've stamped on it. So just cut the loose threads off. Some people leave them. I like to cut them off, and it's really important that the bottom flap goes over the 2 side flaps. What I was demonstrating there was that it can cause obstruction to the tag that it's going in, so we do it that way, and then the tag, as you can see, will slip in and out nicely without getting caught on anything. So I'm using some Tombow there to stick down, giving it a little bit of spread so that it doesn't ooze inwards and cause problems. So I'm putting down a bit of book page there whilst I spread it around, because we don't want the pocket to stick to the page, we just want the edges to stick to the page. So using that bit of chipboard again, so I've got something hard to burnish down there with the bone folder. And now, as you can see, the pocket goes right to the edge and right to the bottom. So that's that bit done. So now we need to think about the other page. I used music sheet for the other one. I quite like music, so I've got here a very old book, and it's got smaller music score than the one I used on the other page. I quite like the size of it for this book. I'd forgotten about it when I was doing the other one. It's a little bit white. It's not quite as caramelly as the other music sheet I used. So I'm just using my ruler there to rip the edges and sort of marking where the page size is, and not being too precise. That's one of the things I like about this sort of craft, is it's sort of rip and stick. So yeah, just going over there, a little bit of ink to give it that extra vintage look. Excuse me. And I'll add some stenciling to this as well. So I'm going to use that flower again down in the bottom corner, so that it kind of matches sort of diagonally across. And excuse me, in the same way, I'm going to layer up the colours. I decided to go for the dark first and then do the light. It actually makes it a little bit easier to see the dots that need to be lined up. And I had it upside down. I was like, it's not working. It's because I had it upside down. So there. So now I'm doing the soft suede, so the early espresso still pops up. And then I'm going to do a little bit of stamping, and as I've not stuck the page down, it's much easier to take the paper to the stamp, so you get more of a random faded image. It's, you know, they fade out to the side because it's not a full straight stamp going on there. And then it is, I'm going to go around the edges with my glue stick and fill it all in, and then I'll take my colour glue to go around the edges and a little bit up the middle, just to make sure that it adheres really well to the page. And I have a little bit of difficulty there. The page is beginning to curl up around the edges, so I didn't get it on straight first time, so I have to do it again. So and then using that sky card just to smooth it down really well, so that it sticks really well and you don't get any bubbles. You know, that's why you have to do it, because it is possible to get bubbles. So there's a strip of the DSP, and it kind of goes with it's not quite the same flowers, but similar enough. And I'm just going to use, I decided to try if I can put a bit of gesso with the mask, but it's rubbish, so I don't recommend that. So I'm just putting a bit on, and then I'm going to wipe it off with a dry baby wipe so that it's not as stark, but it's got a bit on, so it is in keeping with the other side. And I'm probably going to do that on the other page that I've already done, so that sort of matches. Adding a little bit of ink there to knock it back, and then sticking on that border. So sky card comes in handy again to rip as well. Many uses for discarded credit cards, reward cards and sky cards. And so just add a bit of ink, a little bit of script there, and dottage, and then just sort of glue that in page. So it's just a bit of decoration to tie in the one page with the other. So bit glue stick, bit of colour, and jobs are good. Spreading it out again with my glue spreader, and bringing in the chipboard again, so that I've got a nice firm base for burnishing that. So we've got a really good stick there. So that's it done, and so I just thought I'd pull out some of the things that I've already got made. So I've got this ticket here, and I thought the colour went well, so I thought I'd stuff him in there, quite like that. And then this one, I've got videos on making this. I'm sure that was a bit of decoupaging napkins onto book pages that I'd stuck together and then coffee dyed on the back, and different bibs and bobs that I had. And so I thought those colours went well, and then I thought I need something up here, so I went through some clusters I've recently done on a video, quite like that. The green pulls out the green, thought that would look good. And then I wondered about a word on there as well, so I'm just gonna stick this down, and it gives it a bit of balance, I think, up in the corner. Just spread that around so it goes through the edges of that doily. These doilies dies are retiring, and I'm gutted because I think they're brilliant, but I'll keep using them. But yeah, the butterfly dies are continuing. So I think that's good. Got a little bit of balance there, so we can journal. I might clip tag on there or something. And then I thought, what about a little word on here? So I recently did a video on using scraps and making words, so I thought I could find something. So I've got love there. Oh, what about happiness? That's nice, isn't it? Put that on there. I did pull out some ribbon and wondered if I wanted a bit of ribbon as well. It's the wrong colour, but I like this texture. It's like Hessian, and it goes with the back of that. And I thought I could colour it. Stick it just underneath like that. So I might do another little slanted cut there, like so. So yeah, that's a good size. I quite like the lace edging. I do want it a different colour, so I might bring my alcohol markers in. I think it's a bit of rich raspberry, not sure, but I thought that's what we'll try. So bring a scrap in, got a rich raspberry. Let's just colour the edge of that. Might not be rich raspberry, but I think it might work. So I'm going over just the edge where that lace is. So I use these alcohol markers, the Stampin' Blends, more for colouring things like ribbon and gems than I do for colouring in. You know what I mean? But no, never mind. Right, yep, liking that colour. I think that is working there, and then that can go on there like so. Yep, doing it for me. So I'm going to put a bit of glue along there to attach that to that. And then we'll glue it to the back. This isn't fabric glue, but I think it'll work. And that just take a little bit longer to properly stick, but that's all right for the moment. So that is a way of doing that spread. And after seeing a bit of gesso on there that kind of links it in, I might do a bit of gesso on there, like I've done there. I think it works a bit better. So yeah, that's that done. So I hope you've enjoyed. Is that a little word there? Didn't want that. So so yeah, so there's a spread done there. So next time I'll probably bring you this one, I think, and I might add some tags to this to finish this off and put a bit of gesso on there and show you that when it's done. Okay, so thanks for joining me. I will link down below to the things that I've used that you can buy. So the stamp set, this mask, these dies that I used to cut out here. Might link to the video of where I made these as well, and that one if I remember. And yeah, so I hope you join me next time, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.